Hey there, my name's Leanne of Leanne Brunel Coaching, and if you don't already know me, I am a mental and emotional well-being coach. Today I'm going to do a bit of an intro video on tapping, also known as EFT, so you know what to do and what it's all about for my future videos. Now, tapping kind of seems like a pretty woo-woo kind of thing, and that's definitely what I thought of it when I first came across it. But it's actually a scientifically proven technique to help with a huge variety, actually, of things such as your everyday stress and anxiety, dealing with pain, and dealing with the effects of trauma. And that happens to be my absolute favorite thing to do with clients, because if you can effectively erase the effects of trauma from your nervous system, you can imagine that people experience pretty significant transformations from that. Going back to tapping, if you are anything like me, if you're dealing with a difficult emotion or sensation, or even just patterns of behavior that just aren't working for you anymore, if you're anything like me, you probably wish you could have results yesterday. Now, while I can't give you results yesterday, tapping is the next best thing. Tapping can give you results in a matter of minutes, and sometimes even seconds. It's so fast that it literally feels like you're cheating, but that's totally okay. I'm not going to tell anybody. Now, when we're feeling stressed, what happens is that our thinking, rational part of our brain essentially shuts down. And you've probably seen this in yourself when you are flooded with an emotion. You probably do and say things that you know aren't helpful, but yet you do it anyhow, and you can't seem to help yourself. Now, when we tap, what we do is we're tapping on acupuncture meridians. And what that does is it tells your brain and your nervous system that you're safe and that it's okay to come out of the stress response. And once we can calm down our stress response, then all of a sudden we have a lot more resources. We are a lot calmer, we can think things through, we can see the big picture, and we're just able to deal with whatever challenge is in front of us in a much healthier and much more productive way. So before I get into showing you what tapping looks like and the tapping points, I just wanted to share a couple tips first. The first tip is, if you are new to tapping, or like me, you are a bit of a skeptic, it's really important to get clear on the emotion that you're dealing with or the sensation in your body that you're dealing with, and rate the intensity of that on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being like it's through the roof, and 0 being non-existent. And then after a couple of rounds, you can check in and see where you're at again and see how that number has changed. Now, it's really important to make sure that when you're checking in on your number that second time, that you're rating the same thing. So say, for instance, if you are starting with sadness or starting with like this tight feeling in my chest, make sure that you go back to that when you're rating it on a scale of 1 to 10. It's really common with tapping for things to change and shift really quickly. So you can go from maybe the tight sensation in my chest to like butterflies in my stomach. And if you go rating yourself, you might say, well, the number went up because now I'm rating myself with the butterflies in the stomach, and that feels really intense. But if you go back and look at that first initial feeling, it should have gone down. So make sure that you're always rating the same thing when you go back and look at that again. The second tip that I have for you is that it's really, really, really important to honestly voice the negative thoughts and beliefs that are going on in your head. We live in a culture where it's kind of not okay to express negative thoughts and emotions. We have to be positive all the time. So this might feel a little weird for some people, but trust me, it works. And the reason why we want to get in touch with those negative feelings is that or negative thoughts, is that we really want to get in touch with the negative emotions and kind of be able to keep ourselves tuned into those negative emotions. Because if we can't really access those negative emotions or feel those negative emotions while we're tapping, it's going to be really difficult to release those. I know a few of you might think like, I don't know if I really want to feel those difficult emotions. Leanne, I've been pushing them down for so long because I don't want to feel them. But I promise you, it'll only take a couple of minutes and we can do anything uncomfortable for a couple of minutes. And after you do it a few times and realize that you didn't die, it'll get a lot easier, I promise. So now moving on to the tapping points. I generally tap on each point somewhere between 5 and 20 times per spot. It doesn't really matter. There's no formula here. There's no right or wrong order to hit the tapping points. Basically, all you want to do is make sure you're hitting at least a few of them. If there's some that are, maybe sensitive or difficult to reach, it's totally okay if you skip those, or if as you're going through you forget some, totally okay. We want to tap not so hard that we're going to give ourselves a bruise, but not so light that like nothing is happening. Somewhere in the middle where you can kind of hear a little bit of a thunk. Most of the tapping points are hard on relatively hard parts of our body, so it should make a little bit of a tapping sound. But here are the tapping points. So first tapping point is the beginning of the eyebrow, so sort of where my eyebrow meets my forehead. The next tapping point is beside your eye here, kind of where it's hard and bony beside your eye. And then under your eye, so kind of the top of your cheekbone there. Under your nose, under your mouth, and then this is the collarbone point. So here, if you can see my collarbone, it kind of runs right here. So here's my collarbone just beneath it. It's still kind of hard right there, so that's a tapping spot. Under your arm, so about a hand's width distance underneath your armpit, or ladies, about where your bra strap is. And then the last one is the top of your head. For some of the tapping spots that maybe you could do with two hands, there's some people who do that, and that's totally okay. I prefer to just do it with one hand. It doesn't matter if you do it with your left hand or your right hand, it all works the same. If you happen to be in a situation where tapping all over your face isn't really socially acceptable, there's another way to do it, and it's the fingernail points. So if you put your hand facing up, it's sort of the top corner of your fingernails. So here, 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 and here. You can do it with your opposite hand. I like to just kind of do it with the same hand, just like so. Either way works. So this is a really good way to tap if you're in a social situation where, again, tapping on your face probably wouldn't work so well, but you can easily do this under the table. And I think that's all you should need to know going forward for my future videos. But if you have any further questions or comments, please post those below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.